Hello, I am Dr. Rached Daoud. I am Dr. Rached Daoud. Some may know me and some may not. I have been asked by many people to tell them my opinion about our coronavirus. Many of them know that I'm a doctor, a healer, a free thinker, and a free singer, and also a writer in the field of world crisis, and so I have to answer them and respect their expectations of me. Yes, I can allow myself to speak about coronavirus. Why not? If I am in the field, why not? Not only because I am a doctor with a history of healing medical problem, which were incurable by orthodox medicine, but also as a writer about genetics with articles I wrote 40 years ago predicting where the world is going and with viruses, where the world is going with viruses. I published many books in Romanian about the major problems for humanity. One of them is published in 1983 and is about an inclusion in the publishing house in the Cluj, and it is about bioethics. And in it, I speak about the possibility of a virus which could bring a biological apocalypse in our era of genetical engineering. And it was prefaced by Professor Dr. Konstantin Maximilian, well-known celebrity in Europe in this field. And we worked together on this subject, and we had many articles. We wrote about many articles, and we spoke about this possibility of a virus for bringing a biological apocalypse in our era of a genetical engineering. And I wrote very in a language of a poetry and in a language which inspires many who are authorities how to be prevented. And in another book called The Tragic Diagnosis, I described how I speak about the planet Earth. If it is not a patient on a patient, and and we are putting it's our Mother Earth, her diagnosis. I describe how the planet is becoming so sick from the maltreatment of humans, and how we have to find a way to heal it. Also, I published a book in English called Doctor Impossible. Many heard of you about it, with the stories about healing from a deep understanding of the human being. Yes, with all my experience, I found it is difficult to comment about the coronavirus. It's not easy. Really is not easy because a lot of responsibility and implications. It is a new event or a new crisis in this way happening to the world. It's not easy, and there is responsibility behind it. But I have to do it. I was not able to find any reference which treats the situation with objectivity. And there is nobody to appeal to. To whom to appeal? There is nobody to appeal to. There is there is a lot of massive paranoia and hysteria about the subject, you know. But being I am now in East Sussex, staying with my friends who invited me to quarantine in their home, and I am very grateful for that. I started to record this video for you, my friends, and for many who really enjoying to listen to me, and I am grateful for you. And all who asked me about my opinion. In the beginning, I thought how to treat the subject. How? And came in my mind suddenly why I don't address the coronavirus and interview it. Dr. Bruce Lipton, the well-known biologist, yes, tells us we can talk with ourselves, with bacteria as well as viruses, and says that we are all connected with them with one consciousness. Maybe it is a good idea now to start talking directly with Corona until I find a way through this subject. Addressing Corona with the spirit of peace. Maybe it will listen to me. I will do my best. Addressing Corona with the spirit of the peace. Maybe it will listen to me. I will do the best. If it will not listen, maybe behind the scenes, who benefit from the tragedy of Corona will listen. Who sent you Corona? Who? Who sent you Corona? Who? And why have you come? And what is the plan? So easily and quickly invading country after country, journeying such a long way, wildly coming to prey upon all of us on earth with disaster and death from Wuhan to New York. Cruelly and fast you passed, leaving behind so many tears, locking us poor in our homes, frozen with fears. Are you Corona created by man or hand or by a wild bat? Perhaps by a rat. But you don't need any of them. On your own, you can create yourself with your perfect genetic code in the most suitable mode to do a top evil job. Go away, Corona. Go away and leave us our day to shine in peace. Please, terrible Corona, please. Are you really the power of evil, created in the laboratory of the devil, with the spikes, horns, and malefic crown, to stop humanity, knocking it down, to stop humanity knocking it down? But who sent you, Corona? Tell us their real name. We want someone to blame. Corona, maybe you came here by yourself, triggered by an unspecific insanity to bring us a harsh, memorable, and forgettable message for humanity. Maybe the foretold time has come, and we have swallowed too much suffering, and are now humbled enough to become ready to listen to the alarm bell beaten by the consciousness of the globe, wanting us to hear the truth of how malevolent our mind has become and how we are blinded, following the fashion of greediness with our collective egocentric selfishness and highly advanced vanity, so destructive for humanity. Who to blame? Who to blame? There is no name. There is no name. But you coronavirus, you know what you are doing. And you are not as stupid as we thought. And this is why disaster you brought. You are not rigid as we are in our mind. You are receptive for the environment, living close to nature. Not ego-blind, flexible, adaptable, duplicable, replicable, changeable, in structure, in nature, in genetic code, barbaric, in mode, ruining ourselves with multi-health. But the poetry addressing Corona did not give me an answer. Never mind, it was a good beginning. No? Maybe addressing Corona was just a preparation to get into the atmosphere and see how to fully to expose the whole problem. Normal to be like that. to prepare my mind to think how humanity could possibly find a radical solution. You know what I should do? First, I would like to start by describing the situation. And maybe on this basis, we'll know how to address the problem. Okay? It is then. It is odd, so odd how your corona started to creep, then suddenly careen so fast and deep. From one person to another with no wings or feet, coming to deteriorate our lungs to feet. Your macabre sinister urgent need. How can we live with corona everywhere? Haunted by its fatalistic moods, with every citizen of this planet on its blacklist. How we can live with corona everywhere, haunted by its fatalistic moods, with every citizen in this planet on its blacklist. No distinction between rich and the poor. At once, corona is everywhere in the world, crossing all the boundaries, subtly breaking through security and our brilliant systems of defense and intelligence, leaving us in uncertainty, like children abandoned in the woods, left naked for the ravenous wolves. Is COVID-19 the cursed COVID-19? A super virus with such an intelligent program, cleverer than everyone, especially you leaders. Then it is why I don't address directly leaders and those who are responsible for all situations, and to put things black and white, showing reality as it is in a straightforward way, using direct language to address those who are responsible. When, like now, what happens? Our lives are in danger. Like now, our lives are in danger, and nothing should remain hidden. Ladies and gentlemen, of World Health Organization, governments worldwide, and the grand network of the barking media, I want to ask you one by one about COVID-19, how it succeeded to infiltrate so well, uncontrolled, in our society, crossing the barriers of your vigilance. How, without your permission, it reached from China so quickly to become a deadly pandemic, making its nest in our throats and destroying the lungs of many members of our global community. Where were you when you should have been shutting the frontiers of your countries so the virus could not come in and take the lives of many? Where were you when you should have been shutting the frontiers of your countries so the virus did not come in and take the lives of many? Maybe you were busy with more important things. Maybe you were horse riding or gambling. But gambling was a what? Hmm. With the economy. No, with the economy. You were gambling. Hmm. It appears that it's very difficult for the authorities to listen. Then I need to continue. I don't care. I need to continue. Even if it appears that it's very difficult for the authorities to listen, then I need to continue to find any way to awaken their consciousness for our salvation. But now, you woke up coming with your hysteria. But now you woke up coming with your hysteria, loudly beating your drums and blowing your trumpets when it is too late. The malefic here, virus already hits us aggressively, and it is absolutely impossible to deport it back to the animal market of bats and the pangolins of Wuhan. You deafened us with your psychotic strategy and your bubbling wisdom and pseudo personality. It seems that you got lost. It seems you got lost in puerility. It seems you got, sorry, it seems you got lost in puerility and started to behave worse than children, sending your army trained for nuclear war to lock us indoors and teaches us how to wash our hands. Maybe we should wash our hands of you leaders and not of the virus. With your military sophistication, super smart technology, and financial clout, you are not able to protect us and left many of us to die. In other words, just between you and me, you were defeated by the belittling COVID-19. You are irresponsible and have no credibility. A minuscule, invisible, malefic predator took away your mask and exposed you. Your duty is not to teach us how to strengthen our immune system and heal ourselves. Maybe your political system functions better by leaving us to die. Leaving us to die, no? And recording our name in your books of martyr to enhance your national ceremonies. It is obvious that your concern is only to protect the your governing systems from collapsing, so their thrones don't fall on your heads. It is obvious that your concern is only to protect your governing systems from collapsing so their thrones don't fall on your heads. A human being can die. A human being can die. In your opinion, a human being can die, but the economy must not fall. But you are always responsible for what is going on. Not only our political leaders disappointed us, but also our health institutions and establishments. Not only our political leaders disappointed us, but also our health institutions and establishments. Is it possible that a grand pharmaceutical industry cannot find a remedy for COVID-19? Then there must be something wrong with their approach, and they need to change and not to remain stuck in their marketing attitude. How can we accept a bat or pangolin coronavirus, say SARS-CoV-2, is more powerful than us? How we can accept that a bat or pangolin coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, is more powerful than us? can occupy the world, can take our place, and the most humiliating of all, that our army, with its smart missiles and nuclear weapons, are useless and unable to defend humanity and stop the bloody hell attack of the invisible enemy. Who, through one cough, can take the lives of many without distinction or respect for who they are. We know from all Hollywood films that we are well prepared we know from all Hollywood films that we are well prepared to defend our planet from all sorts of monster alien invasions. But not, it seems, from a tiny virus. How is it possible that our grand medical health systems and the great pharmaceutical industry became unable to manage COVID-19? They bombarded our minds, claiming that their effective chemicals succeeded in poisoning parasites and bacteria in our body, easily eradicating them. Then why not with COVID-19? The drug companies deluded us for years, promising firmly that for every malady they have a remedy. And now what? They built up our expectation and we paid a high price for that. What happened in them now? Where are they now? No cure for a tiny virus? Maybe they cannot find one because they don't know that the virus is an agent of biological information and it is impossible for it to be poisoned. Treat it as an enemy, as they do with their aggressive warfare approach toward bacteria and cancer cells. Maybe it should be treated with love and peace. Maybe it should be treated with love and peace. Not like as a war against cancer, war against like mass destruction, destructive wars against cells in the body. This aggressive mentality is refused. Did not work. Maybe this aggressive mentality is blinking aggression. Maybe this is the energy of the negative vibration on all this planet, like war, like wars, aggressiveness, victim or aggressors. Then the virus maybe felt this energy and moved in this flow of aggression. Then the whole aggression and aggressive mentality in a treatment, in a relationship, in leading countries should disappear and appear a cooperation built on peace, on love. This is the most important thing. This inside energy, which we are educated in the imperial way in our societies, has to disappear. Then normal. An imperialistic and aggressive approach does not work in any kind of treatment. The whole system has to change. It seems that after our experience with COVID-19, we can conclude that the global medical health care systems are inefficient, and that the pharmaceutical chemical industry and the mentality behind it, for sure it has collapsed. And what remains is only for us to find a way to heal ourselves, to strengthen the immune system. This is at the end. We are in this situation. Nothing can work And we have to lock ourselves down in our home and look to our life to strengthen our immune system. We are already in the process of opening our consciousness for the self-healing. But with what? Not with garlic or lemon. Yes, with garlic or lemon, possibly. But for sure, our immune system can be strengthened by freeing ourselves from fear and all the expectations we have from our leaders. When we have expectation and we have anxiety and we have this problem, then this drops our immune system. This expectation we have from our leaders and health authorities. And instead, we have to opening ourselves in peaceful surrender for love to take over. The only way to heal. It is the only way to heal. And the situation proves that. Even it is not acknowledged that the traditional war systems have failed, become a null, a zero. We are now starting, I feel, if we don't start in a new era of bringing, which brought the whole world in such a global awareness. And we have to have global awareness and to join each other and cooperate. And if we don't continue in this way, there will be a big problem. COVID-19 brought this reality to the surface. Will the turmoil of COVID-19 calm down soon? Even if to say a vaccine against it is discovered. Okay, vaccine for the strain, which was this year. But if comes another strain, and the virus can mutate, what we can do? And there is other viruses who are deadly. 80% can kill 80% of population. Is this all this? How we can deal with these situations? This virus, COVID-19, is a message to be careful, to be aware. Who will stop the virus mutating if we'll find vaccine? Even if a vaccine against it is discovered, who will stop the virus mutating again into a strain more virulent and deadly? A biological apocalypse could be. We can reach to a biological apocalypse. If we don't change and prepare ourselves, it will. We have to acknowledge our failure to treat the tragic situation of coronavirus and ask questions to find solutions. We have to acknowledge our failure to treat the tragic situation of coronavirus and ask questions to find solutions. We have to question ourselves first. We have to question our mind, asking how it could be responsible for all that is going on. We have to question our industrial technological revolution. Long ago, once William Blake questioned it. To protect the human spirit, not to become like a machine. Maybe the coronavirus invasion happened to tell us indirectly what is going wrong. Behind everything there is a message, and we should open to hear it for our life, to continue on this planet in the best way. Maybe the only solution for such a tragedy is to listen to the message behind COVID-19 attack against our species, and to change within to heal ourselves and the world of such a catastrophe. And what is the message for us? And is the humanity ready? Are we ready for it? We are used to listen to our authorities. But now, regrettably, they lost their credibility. Hopefully, the capricious, sadistic virus is not indirectly going to take their place. Hopefully, the capricious, sadistic virus is not indirectly going to take their place. From now on, we will not follow an external leader, and our true leader and healer is love within. Our true leader and healer is love within. We never thought that one day our meetings with our warm social kisses and hugs could, in the presence of the virus, become so destructive. But we know that throughout history there were waves of infectious diseases threatening our life on the planet. And what is now? Well, reminding, okay, reminding of Spanish flu and all that. Okay, you know. And if it is it that we think that with all our sophisticated technology and advanced industry, as well as huge varieties of chemical drugs that can treat any disease, we are immune from any epidemic? You think so? Okay. And is it that we think that with all our sophisticated technology and advanced industry, as well as a huge varieties of chemical drugs that can treat any disease, we are immune from any epidemic? Then what is left for us? Just to complain. To whom? And for what? Just for the sake of complaining. To complain, just for the sake of complaining. Okay, let us complain. We locked ourselves in our homes, frightened like children from the coming bats. And our idols, in whom all our life we believed, and were brainwashed by with so many expectations. Were brainwashed by with so many expectations, they started to throw themselves from the balcony, breaking into pieces from behind the walls of our cottages. We began to mourn and behave schizophrenically, frightened to open our doors, so not to leak, creeping from under feet the dangerous COVID, and leap to catch our throat. Uncertainty started, in silence to boil, in anger and fear, dropping down immunity. All the streets became empty. Troops of COVID-19. All the streets became empty. Troops of COVID-19 marched widely in the world's capitals. And the wind of grief filled the empty temples. Saga became an elegy to bury its dead. It is so sad. It is so sad. How many were massacred by the Corona troops, and our poor fields became a huge cemetery. Even the pillars of the temple of economy were badly hit. And what is left about to collapse? The leaders on our planet Earth became locked in their forced domicile. What shame! What humility! Now we have to continue honestly reviewing the whole situation, regardless of who we are. We need to confess our corruption and negativity in order to reach some kind of a solution. We need to confess, I repeat, we need to confess our corruption and negativity in order to reach some kind of a solution. We are baffled and unable to find an answer to what is going on. Possible for us, who we are, to be now, we are baffled and unable to find an answer to what is going on? Yeah, we are. We great people of history, we, the elite species on Earth, the only grandiose organisms with mind and consciousness. Under our wings of power, the whole planet was subdued, and we refuse. And we refuse now to accept, we refuse to accept that any microorganism can escape from our control and more invisibly under our shadow. Yes, we refuse to accept that any microorganism can escape from our control and move invisibly under our shadow. We, who created the devil and God to serve us as we wanted, to solve or aggravate the problems as we wished. We who created devil and God to serve us as we wanted, to solve or aggravate the problems as we wished. We have built the highest civilization. We established the statues and institutes of high democracy. We are the real angels on earth. For delicately protecting human and animal rights. At the end, regardless of all our hours. At the end, regardless of all our errors. We are messengers of peace, love, and prosperity. Not only for our planet, but for the whole cosmos. We sound boom. This is what we believe. Some people, they believe that. Under no circumstances is a coronavirus allowed to move freely in our territory. Planet Earth is only for us and for nobody else. Okay, what to answer? Regrettably, many of us are sick with such mentality of anthropocentric chauvinism and fanatism. I repeat, this is what is the problem. Anthropocentric chauvinism and fanatism. Human prejudice and imperial cruel vanity have gone too far. But a virus from a bat was enough to make our minds cuckoo and Betty. Cuckoo and Betty. A virus with all our greatness, with all our how grandiose we are. A virus from a bat was enough to make our minds cuckoo and Betty and expose the regimes on earth. What do you think we can call this situation? I will give you a big title for what is going. Maybe it's difficult, many to understand these words, but they are the fit words for what is going. It is, and expose the regimes on earth, degringolade and categorical kakistocracy. Let me repeat it. Degringolad and kakistocracy. Now I repeat it better. Degringolad and kakistocracy. Kakistocracy means governments of shit. Of corruption or chaos. This is what is. But we have to put it in academic language. It is awful. But COVID-19 is a message to change. There are many other viruses waiting to spread on our blue planet that could quickly kill 80% of the global population. Frightening. A radical change is desperately needed, and it is not enough to ban the market of wild animals and impose social distancing between us and other animals. We have to bring balance and harmony not only for our Earth ecosystem but also for our minds. Even the vibration of our criminal attitude of abusing the planet and its inhabitants, whether human or animal, can affect nature and can produce a negative energy of disharmony which can trigger not only a catastrophic climate change but also viruses to wipe the earth clean of us. That is what. It is awful. Many biologists have prophesied that at the end, viruses will inherit the earth. Sadly, it has started to happen. Yeah. So viruses are so flexible. It could happen. Viruses are so flexible to change and could easily mutate. They are so simple, just an agent of biological information, so receptive, bioelectromagnetically resonant, vibrationally connected to consciousness, blended with nature and in tune with the environment, and potentially directed by a universal super consciousness beyond our imagination. While we are far, really far from this. But we need to ask the question why? Why we are far from this? But then we became so heavy and rigid on our thrones, educated bureaucratically with dullness like our machines, sunk in our self-absorption swamps. And upon seeing us conceited with ourselves, love left us to cleverly delude ourselves, all by ourselves, tramping and trampling, puffed up, believing what great masters we are for the universe. Shrewdly, we know how to tranquilize our hearts with pleasures and perform our seductive shows, charming everything, wickedly to serve our desire, and abusing sadistically beauty worldwide. What? And abusing sadistically beauty worldwide. What the fuck is it all about, really? What the fuck it is all about, really? What it is all about? Finally, it is clear that the stage of life is not just for us to play on. There is a global consciousness which supervises all with extreme vigilance and will stop our assaults. Now it is clear a mutated virus could easily fulfill such a purpose. Regretfully, we reached the point of knowing how to wear dirty gloves woven by our selfishness, to handle all our tools of exploitation. Regretfully, we reached to the point of knowing how to wear dirty gloves woven by our selfishness to handle all our tools of exploitation. So contaminated we have become. Our thick pollution everywhere, clouding our horizon with the invisibility of darkness. Corruption settled dustily in our mind, spread its opacities everywhere to filter all systems. And there is no chair is left for love to sit. And there is no chair is left for love to sit. We speak of freedom, democracy, and human rights. We freed the world from slavery, and instead we slaved ourselves to the technological commercial ego. For what? For feeding our human egocentric materialistic obsessiveness, unaware of how we are poisoning our relationship of love with Mother Earth. Then what is all this destruction for? What is the excuse? Is it all for the economy? Is it all for the economy? It's difficult for us to blame ourselves. Human nature always wants to blame someone else for their vices, like the devil. But who to blame for the present chaos? Who to blame? When we want to blame someone from the current disaster, but blaming, normal, but blaming there is no bill to pay. But who to blame for the coronavirus chaos? We have to avoid blaming ourselves, to stay believing that we are innocent victims. Who could the enemy be? In reality, can only be found in our mind. Who could the enemy be? In reality, can only be found in our mind. Yes, the real enemy responsible for our tragic misery is, I will give a name for the enemy, is ignorance. Ignorance? Yes, human ignorance on the personal and collective scale. If there is any vaccine or remedy for it, what do you know? It's impossible. I doubt it. This is the pain. In the end, Corona can be tolerated, but our ego pain cannot. It's impossible. If you reach it till here listening to me, passing in all this dark side of our humanity, I am grateful to you. But I want to tell something more. If we will agree to accept and see our ignorance, this means that we started to find a solution and to think realistically and positively. Anyways, the whole situation is proved that the only solution is to change in our attitude and open our consciousness to the spiritual reality of a human life. Then now we must put the negativity behind us and start to look for the positive. Yes, put the negativity behind us and start to look to the positive. Let the negativity from itself will fall down, but we have to build on a positive. We have to free from the negative thoughts, from the negative things, and not let anything from outside to affect us negative. And we start to put the negativity behind us with ourselves. Only with the positivity within ourselves, within ourselves, we can heal the problem. Now, by feeling that we are not victims of the whole situations and allowing the whole negativity to go, then we can talk, then we can understand, then we can put our question differently, forgiving all, and having an approach of peace and love for the whole situation. But before that, I need a question for all of us. Could be the virus, be a message, a reply to the pain of our Mother Earth through the language of nature, the purpose being to awaken us to become responsible for life and see what immense harm we are creating for our poor blue planet. Another question. Could the message which the virus is indirectly or directly sending us be an appeal to change ourselves quickly in order to connect harmonically with our natural roots, selflessly allowing the global consciousness of great love to guide us? Normal. There is no other way of salvation. All nations, and the proof, all nations starts to become globally connected to save our planet. Already our Earth began to heal itself and the skies return to a clear azure. The virus can mutate at any moment. Maybe it will leave us in peace if we quieten down and become less noisy and agitated and stop disturbing our Mother Earth. Yes, if we quieten down and become less noisy. With all this noise and agitation and anxiety and hate and negativity and all these negative emotions. So we need to quiet down and become less noisy and agitated and stop disturbing our Mother Earth, our emotional agitation, with all the frustration and anxiety of the capricious ego. Provokes the virus to behave hysterically like us. It is all connected. Everything is the same resonance. Bioelectromagnetic frequencies connected to global consciousness. Yes, everything has the same resonance. Bioelectromagnetic frequencies connected to global consciousness. At the end, viruses are not our enemies. At the end, viruses are not our enemies. Our species was created from the same genetics matrix. Viruses were the first inhabitants of our planet and brought the first genetic code to Earth. They can help us as a bacteriophage to attack antibiotic-resistant bacteria and rebellious cancer cells. They are excellent carriers of genes, transplanting them in our cells to cure genetic and congenital disorders or editing genomes. Bravo, virus. This is the virus is about. Not a negative thing, it is origin positive. Everything could be positive. The virus is not our enemy. It depends how we deal with it. Just as it can be fatal, it can be also life-saving. Then why the fear? Why? Why the whole fear? Why the fear? Nothing is more deadly than fear. Then we need to reconcile ourselves to heal fear and hate. We need to reconcile ourselves to heal fear and hate. We must free ourselves from negative emotions, the negative stress produced by our own ego with its shadows of fear or emotional insecurity and lowering immunity, which can turn into oxidant stress, producing free radicals and lowering immunity, our immunity, not only in body, but also in mind. Turning our emotional negativity to positivity. We need to turn our emotional through love and peace, which stimulates our brain to secrete empathic transmitters, creating a neuroplasticity program of consciousness and ordering the mind body for well-being and self-healing. We should heal ourselves first to heal the world. And we start now through us with the positive energy, with everything, with the consciousness, this opening the consciousness, and when we start with us and started, fear does not affect us. All we are positive inside, all we are with love. Then this is how the energy, positive energy of healing will be built up for the coming time, for the coming future. And there is something positive of the world working. There is a big power of love taking care of all of us. And the great solution for all is the end. Love is the only solution for such a crisis. The great love which lives deep within us, for ourselves and the world, will not allow our home to be demolished by any storm, as long as its foundations are built on peace. We are heroes of love, not victims of fear. We are heroes of love, not victims of fear. And there is no one can find who is stronger than us. And there is no one can find who is stronger than us and who we can blame. We are the strongest. We are the strength, the heroes, the love. We are free. Love with its light on us will turn all the darkness around into illusions. There is only one word to say to the world. In the beginning was love, and the love was word, and the word was a flesh. Our dealers with their dreams of liberty, and our predators who guide us for our well-being cannot anymore hunt and suffocate our souls. Free with love within ourselves. We are the fear on which they build their guillotines. Those people of fears. Those people of fears, the fear on which they build their guillotines of their justice, collapsed on their heads, and their robes curled themselves around their necks. It's sinister, but love is all. Fear is not allowed anymore to agitate us and disturb our inner peace. We will listen to our inner voice of love, and not to the charming sirens, seductive sirens around. Love is our strength. With it we light at dusk the candelabras of our dull human horizons. Love is our strength. With it we light at dusk the candelabras of our dull human horizons. Ah, we feel good now. Extraordinary. We have to enjoy the love. We have to, when we clean our negative emotions and we find our peace within and love through going the whole journey by touching the whole negative and by accepting to see reality and leaving love to guide us. So beautiful. And we are here now with you. And I will continue saying, being positive and awakening the beautiful human being within us is very important for healing. And by this, what is going to happen? How is the healing of the planet? How our healing? How we can go from all these dark tunnels by seeing, by living already is happening. That birds return to dance their tango on our streets and sing with us one song of beauty. Connectedness of the world. Orpheus' lyre began to play. On its sound the snaky dark clouds curled and returned to their caves. As the fear of a free peace dewed our eyes with smiles. Selflessness conquered the ego, and love started to whirl everywhere, lifting us above the abyss. We were born free, and we follow the path of life on our own. No one pushes us from behind. No one stands in our way. The vultures of fear already swallowed their hooks. Rigid walls of prejudice knocked themselves down. Phantoms of the mind have no place to hide. And we are not aggressors, victims, or slaves. Negative thoughts are our predators, and our heart is not a nest or bed for them. Aggressive and imperial mentalities have to end with their weapons against humanity, whether they are biological, ecological, energetic, or nuclear. Aggressive and imperial mentalities have to end with their weapons against humanity, whether they are biological, ecological, energetic, or nuclear. Humanity can only win through love and peace, and its sword can only conquer phantoms with their sphinx and dragons, and nothing more. Corona or any other coming dangerous species cannot defeat us as much as we listen to our inner voice. Pillars of fears have collapsed, and ghosts of misery cannot delude our human soul anymore. And the light of lanterns lit in the dark corners of our soul, we started to learn from the book of love how to unlearn about ourselves. In the light of lanterns lit in the dark corners of our soul, we started to learn from book of love how to unlearn about ourselves. In the midst of the catastrophic storm which is raging around, we have a long journey through our inner world to meet our leader and healer within. We travel on wings of silence in our inward universe where no more shadows. We travel on wings of silence in our inward universe where no more shadows of the past are allowed to penetrate. And my last words to you are, don't forget your inward journey. Deep down in ourselves we go, listening to the divine music of life, always playing its symphony of beatitude of our human spirit, which is and will remain immaculate, with no ego and where love always dashes its springs to extinguish the thirst. So fairies can freely dance beauty, and angels sing purity. Thank you. Thank you.